These are the new balance changes coming in the next update. With 3 nerfs and 5 buffs, I'll break each change down with a side-by-side comparison to show how impactful they will be. Let's start with the changes coming to the Barbarian King equipment, with the Earthquake Boots getting one of the biggest nerfs in this balance change. It's mainly getting its damage percent reduced from 60% down to 40% at max level. Additionally, they're removing the 20 bonus damage that it originally had that could kill skeleton traps. This change is mainly to remove its ability to deal with skeleton traps effectively, while also toning back its power with the Spiky Ball. Currently, the Spiky Ball and the Earthquake Boots can one-shot all buildings except the Town Hall. However, after this change, it will no longer one-shot certain defenses like the Eagle Artillery, Ricochet Cannon, and Multi-Archer Tower. Despite how bad this change looks, this equipment is still going to be fairly good even when paired with a Spiky Ball. It's no longer going to be as dominant, but will still be a very strong option as a wall-breaking ability while still being able to one-shot defenses like Infernos, Monoliths, or even Expos. However, fear not, because the Vampstache is getting a pretty sizable buff as well. It's mainly getting its DPS increase buffed by over 70%, as at max level it's going from 68 to 120. This change will increase the damage your king can do while also healing at the same time. While other equipment options like the Gauntlet, Spiky Ball, and Earthquake Boots have overshadowed it in the past, this could make the Vampstache a much stronger option with equipment like the Gauntlet if you like to have the damage reduction, or the Spiky Ball for optimal HP and DPS increases. So, for those of you who are already using the Vampstache, this could be a strong option in more situations than just on the outside of the base. And to round out the Barbarian King, we also are seeing a small buff to the Barbarian Puppets. It's mostly just getting its hero boost stats increased by 10%, which aren't really that impactful, and when comparing this to the Vampstache and Earthquake Boots, this will really not change much for this equipment. However, if you would like to see the stat changes at max level, here are the HP increase and recovery stats being buffed for it. Moving over to the Archer Queen's equipment, we have her Archer Puppets getting another round of buffs. However, this change is mainly to the hero boost stats, as they're being increased by 10%, similar to that of the Barbarian Puppets. Unlike them, however, the Archer Puppets with this new buff is about on par with the Frozen Arrow in terms of the DPS increase, while also offering slightly better healing to the Queen. Now, while this change doesn't really do much for the Archer Queen, it does give those who are fans of Queen Charge an option if they don't have access to the Frozen Arrow, as this works pretty darn well with the Magic Mirror, which applies its own HP and healing buffs, while also getting about the same DPS as the Frozen Arrow. The Grand Warden equipment are also getting some additional balance changes within this next update, as the Fireball is getting a fairly small nerf. It's having the max radius of 6 tiles moved from level 18 to level 24, which means investing into the Fireball is still much better, as level 24 is the new minimum level, which includes Town Hall 17 defenses. This nerf is not really meant for regular players like me or you, as it really just pushes the investment minimum to level 24. But for those between Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 14, you will feel this change. However, it's still not a massive issue, as the damage remains the same, so you may get 1 or 2 less buildings at those Town Hall levels. This is mainly going to hurt the Fireball for competitive players within hard mode, as with less damage and less radius, it becomes slightly easier to defend compared to before. However, we have a pretty big buff coming to the Life Gem, as it's getting a 10% buff to its hero boost stats, along with its max HP cap increase. At max level, it's going from 870 to 1050 HP. While this might not seem that big, it's quite a strong buff for this equipment, as it pairs even better with more troops. Troops between 900 and 4000 HP will be able to make even better use of this ability while foregoing the Apprentice Warden. Troops such as Throwers, Super Hog Riders, and Balloons get the biggest buff from this, as it makes them tankier, while troops like the Yeti can also use it, as their HP with the new Life Gem buff is practically the same as the Apprentice Warden. However, this will not be a good choice with tanks like Electro Titans or Root Riders, or any troop that is above 4,300 HP, as the Apprentice Warden is just strictly better within these. Finally, we get to the Royal Champion's equipment, as her very popular Electro Boots are being nerfed. This nerf focuses mostly on her self-healing along with the area damage the boots do. At max level, this is being reduced from 60 healing to 45 healing per second and from 250 DPS to 200 DPS. This change will not really impact her as much, as the Royal Champion charges will still be a strong option if you can keep her from taking too much damage. However, if she does take a lot of damage, it can be quite difficult to keep her alive. So if you are worried about investing into the Electro boots, you shouldn't worry, as the Royal Champion charges will still be a strong option, and you don't really need to use this equipment within Royal Champion charges. It will still be great as it can one-shot skeletons still. We're also getting a small buff to the Royal Gem's hero boost stats, as it's getting 50% more HP along with more damage. This change though really isn't super significant, and honestly it still won't be worth running unless you're a Town Hall 13. If you like to specifically see the new changes to this at max level, here are the HP and DPS increase buffs for this equipment. However, we do have one more nerf coming in the next update, and this is for the Invisibility spell. It's having its duration decrease by 0.25 seconds at all levels. This means at max level, it will have 4.25 seconds of invisibility rather than 4.5 seconds. This nerf will not be a massive change for those who are using 4 to 5 invisibility spells, but might feel slightly more noticeable in mass invisibility spell attacks. This change will likely force players to use their invisibility spells more carefully, or to not use 11 or more of them, as over time, the 0.25 second decrease may be more noticeable as the charge goes on. But this change will not affect the blimp armies that use super wizards or super archers. So with these balance changes, what will the best combos be for each hero? Well, the King's Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots will still be a good option, but this does open the door to other options like the Giant Gauntlet and Spiky Ball combo, the Giant Gauntlet and Vampstache combo, or even the Vampstache and Spiky Ball combo. Overall, your King has a lot more options than he really has before. As for the Archer Queen, things are roughly the same with the Magic Mirror and Healer Puppets, which is still going to be her best. But you additionally have the Giant Arrow and Healer Puppet combo that you can run for air armies or funneling, or if you're a fan of running Queen charges, the Archer Puppets with the Magic Mirror or Frozen Arrow with the Magic Mirror is great choices depending on what you have. The Warden will still have his Eternal Tome and Healing Tome combo, along with the Fireball and Rage Gem combo. But the Life Gem with the Eternal Tome will likely be another solid option that you can run for him. And for the Royal Champion, you'll still have the Electro Boot combo with either the Haste Vial or the Spear, making it a solid option despite the nerfs to her Electro Boots. Now with these changes, you still have plenty of reasons to invest into both the nerfed and buffed equipment. But if you like a guide on which epic to unlock first, I recommend checking this video out right here.